Hi, Amy Shaw here. It's September 17th, 2016, and I think I've experienced another Mandela effect. Now, I am someone who has experienced several of the Mandela effects of varying intensities. Some of them have been very, very strong, and there's just no doubt. I know that my memory's not incorrect, and some of them, I'm not really sure about. And I think that a lot of us who've experienced the Mandela effect have had a similar sort of experience of having some stronger than others. Well, Gene Wilder recently passed away, and that's evidently a Mandela effect because all over people started talking about it. Oh, I thought he already died. For me, I can't say personally that was a strong Mandela effect. Vague, just very vague. But one that is really strong for me is Betty White. Betty White is still alive, and I love Betty White. I'm a big, big fan. Ever since her Golden Girls years, I have just loved her. She reminds me a lot of my grandmother, so I have that sort of emotional connection, and I pay attention whenever she's on the TV or she's, on a show or hosting a show. I pay attention to her because I love her. I love her. And I have this very distinct memory. We moved to Austin, Texas area from California in the summer of 2013. And, it's interesting because our memories really orient us to place and time. When I was growing up as a kid, I remember my mom telling me several different times that she remembers exactly the time of the day, what day it was, what restaurant she was eating at, even what she was eating when the family got the news that John Kennedy had been shot. And so, yeah, memories are powerful like that. And now Betty White dying is obviously not going to hold as much significance, in the collective conscience as like the day John Kennedy died. But for me, because I have that emotional attachment to her, that sort of affection for her, it's not a memory that I think I would misremember or a false memory. So yeah, in the summer 2013, we moved to Austin, Texas area, and we were living in that house at the time. And I remember distinctly sitting in the living room and hearing, and it's interesting because I Googled it recently. Betty White died, and up popped like a bunch of articles saying that there's been at least 8 or 9 death hoaxes involving Betty White, where there's been mass dissemination of information on the internet claiming that she had died when she hadn't. Well, Betty White's 94 years old, and so, like I said, I've been following her. My grandma's 93, so they're very close in age, and she's very much reminds me of my grandma. And so I have a significant tie to this. And I remember distinctly sitting in my living room on my couch, and it wasn't on the internet that I heard that she had passed away. It was on the TV, the news channels. And it was on several channels as throughout the evening as we were flipping through. And I remember my husband being there and having a conversation with him about it, feeling sad. I feel so sad that Betty White died because, she's so close in age to my grandma. And connecting with that emotion of, my grandma's, not going to live too much longer either. And so you tell me, those of you that don't believe in the Mandela effect, you tell me, are these all just false memories that we're making them up? Because I distinctly remember this, and it was just a few years ago, so it wasn't even that long ago. I remember this occurring, and I know for a fact that it wasn't like a death hoax, something I read on Facebook. And no, I watched it on the news. Several different stations reporting that she had died and going over like her career and showing clips of her, playing in the Golden Girls and, a few clips of little comedy things that she had done. And I remember this. Okay, I remember this. So I'm putting this out there because I'm wondering if anybody else remembers Betty White passing away. And that you realize that she's still alive. Thank God. I'm glad for that. But if you realize she's still alive, and I'm curious to know the memories that you have around that, her death, or hearing about her death, if you have those memories, what that looked like for you. Was it something that you read on the internet? Could it have been a hoax? Or are your memories like as strong and vivid as mine are? That, no, this was reported on the news. So appreciate your comments. Thanks for watching. just keep it real. Keep riding that wave. I love you guys, and I'll see you again soon.